Hello, welcome to my podcast, Empowered to Thrive. I'm so glad you joined me today. I'm your host, Corrine Powell. I'm an intuitive mentor, and I help people pleasers to find happiness, embrace courage, and experience peace of mind. But say you're not a people pleaser, and you're desperate for change and not sure how to make it happen, then I'm here to help. In this space, you're going to find motivation to live a life full of joy and resilience. We'll talk all things inner wellness. And because I'm a mom, we'll throw in some knock-knock jokes. Just kidding. We'll talk mom hacks and parenting sometimes. Whether it's your first time here or you listen week after week, I am wanting you to know, as I'm always wanting you to know, that your life is so significant. You are so valuable. And I, for one, am happy that you are alive. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And would you do me a favor? Would you go ahead and subscribe to my podcast? Give me a good rating and write a written review. Any of those three things would help me so very much, and I would appreciate it. Enjoy the episode. Right, so today I have a friend with me. Her name is Hanna, and she's a functional nutritional therapy practitioner and a busy mom to four. She lived the story of problem skin and non-existent self-confidence. After trying so many products, over-the-counter and prescription, to no avail, she decided to start formulating her own skincare. Then began half a decade of research and testing until finally she was happy. Hundreds of products have sold with 5-star reviews. She infuses every single jar with so much love. And I can attest to that because I bought Hanna skincare just a couple weeks ago. I got it. And I messaged her one night because it was the second night I was using the products. And I literally felt like peace and warmth and this feeling of everything is okay right now as I put on the cleanser on my face, which surprised me too, because it wasn't the moisturizer. Like I was cleansing my face and yet nothing was uncomfortable. I have to be really careful with the skincare that I use because my skin like reacts very easily. And so I messaged you that night because I was taken aback. Like I couldn't believe how much I felt at peace when I was applying the cleanser. And that's when you said, that you actually send them out with love.
Yeah, it's so amazing. It just it gave me goosebumps and made me so excited when you shared that, because that's my goal with my skincare. The world around us is so chaotic, and it can just start to feel so hopeless at times. And, I'd love to change the world, but I can't. But I can do one, I've just decided to focus on just the things that I can control and just do what I can to touch the people that I'm able to. Mm-hmm. And so my goal with my skincare is to do just that, infuse every single jar with so much love and so much self-care, so that when you get my product, it's not just a product. You're getting a jar of self-care, a jar of love, something to just give you a small moment of just calm and quiet and nurturing. And that's my entire goal with this. It's if we can focus on just these small little moments of care and love, then we can impact those that are closest to us. Mm-hmm. And it's like the butterfly effect, if I can help one woman feel better about herself, she can touch the people that are closest to her. And then those people touch the people who are closest to them. And, it just it ripples. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah. Well, you're doing it.
If I can touch woman in a small way like this, then I can make an impact.
Yeah. You are so making an impact. And I mean, really, truly, like I usually buy top of the line, like whatever's natural and good skincare. And
Mhm.
honestly, like I was going to even tell you, 4 weeks in, but I'm loving them. So I mean it with all my heart. Like you are doing such good work. And yes, you are totally changing. If I can enjoy what I put on my face and know that I'm taking good care of it, that makes me feel better about everything because I look in the mirror, right? I see my face. If I
Right,
pop on social media, everyone sees my skin. So whether
right.
I have makeup or not, I know that how I feel about my face affects everything.
It really does. Yeah. And our face is our first impression to the world. It really is. And it's just, it feels good when we can feel comfortable and confident in the skin we're in,
Mhm.
rather than that feeling of just wanting to hide. Because I've been there. I've been there where I don't want to be seen by anyone. I want to hide. I feel horrible. And then when I go out, like when you come from a place like that, it's not a good place. It's not like a good feeling.
Mhm.
And those around you they feel that and they experience that, and you also don't enjoy life to the fullest and enjoy what you have. And when we can enjoy what we have right now and feel good about ourselves, then it just makes everything better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's evident to me that what you speak, you actually do. Like every time I seen your face or a picture of you, your skin looks vibrant. It looks really good. And I feel like what you're saying, like you're living it out, you're doing it, and you're living proof that it works, that it's worth it. And I love it when somebody's speaking out a message and they're living out the same message. And because you talk about skincare and like you're basically saying, hey, we can tell. No, it's true. Like your skin looks vibrant.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. And I actually don't have any makeup on. This might sound weird to a lot of people, but I don't wear makeup at all.
Okay.
That's just, that's who I am. I'm no makeup girl.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I like to feel comfortable in my skin. And that's what I want for everyone.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so. It just like, it makes everything better when we can feel comfortable and confident in the body we live in.
Yes. Yes. It's actually why I practice, and I use that word deliberately. Like there's things I do in my life that I just make sure I keep doing them at different times. But I practice not having makeup on certain days and still showing up, like whether it's on social media or at the grocery store, because I actually want to live comfortable in my body and in my skin. And I know for me, or perhaps it's cultural, that like there's sometimes this perceived idea that if you have makeup on, it's like they can't see the real me.
Mhm.
And I want to make sure that I'm able to show up as like fully who I am without without anything changing it some days, so that it's almost a way to like check in with myself and make sure that I'm still comfortable in my own body and that I'm
Mhm.
still at ease with people seeing me without anything changing the real look of my face. Like I have nothing against makeup. It's more the root of it. Like I just think it's a beautiful thing to be able to accept myself and my skin, even if there's some sort of preconceived idea that that's not the way to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, and it can feel kind of weird to be like against the social norms of our culture. And it's not like this in other cultures. Like I'm sure you all can hear my accent, and it's Finnish actually. And it's a different culture over there as opposed to here. Like people that come here, like my family will come here from there, and they're like America's culture is very, how would you put it? Like like aesthetic or based on the outward, and very much.
I want to interrupt today's episode and tell you about a couple great things coming up. For those of you that know, I run group meetings every so often. Doors are open. Our next group coaching will begin March 9th. We will meet 3 meetings every other week over Zoom. I keep my group small very intentionally so that you have my focused attention and lots of space to share and ask questions. I offer actionable steps and lots of support during the meeting and in advance of the meeting. Conversations will be focused on discovering what ways of thinking are limiting you and giving attention to what your younger self or your inner child needs in order for you to thrive in your present day. If you register before February 23rd or you're a past participant, you're only going to pay $100. Cost increases after February 23rd. I also want to let you know about a challenge that I'm running beginning in March on the 13th. The Fresh Start Challenge is at no cost to you, so tell your friends about it. You will get daily emails, coaching support from me, and community if you want to opt into that. There will be prizes and giveaways, of course, and lots more. I would love to have you as a part of either the group coaching or the no-cost Fresh Start Challenge. Go ahead and look in the show notes if you need more information or want to register. Now back to today's episode.
It's just like our culture is very based on the outward appearance, I guess.
Yeah.
Where some cultures, like in Finland, it's more based on what's internal and what somebody holds like inside of them. So like, it's different cultures, and we're not going to change the culture of America as a whole, but the way we show up, we can be okay with us and what's inside of us.
Yes.
Like you had said, your experience of just showing up and being okay with it. And really, I feel that every one of us has been created just beautifully and uniquely, just how we're supposed to be.
Skincare, like that you're making, you're infusing with love, and then I receive it and I'm like, wow, there's something special about these products. We're impacting, and each person who's listening. Yeah. And you mentioned the butterfly or the ripple effect. And I know that what has helped me even to be willing to not show up with makeup some days and show up with makeup other days. Because actually I didn't even wear makeup for many years. Like my wedding day, I barely had any makeup, but that was more because I hadn't learned to take time for myself. So then I went through this season where I kind of felt like I was a teenager, even though I was an adult, because I was like trying out makeup, trying out things. And that was my journey, my process to learn how to love myself, how to embrace something that I hadn't before. But anyhow, all that aside, there was a public figure who I respected, admired, and appreciated. And this person would show up sometimes dolled up and show up sometimes not. And I just remember it stood out to me. Like, wait, if she can do that, and there's millions of people who see her, then I can. Like it impacted me. And I guess just all that to say, like, what we do is impacting people. Every jar that my heart is trying to say that we all have impact. And whether we think it's big or we think it's small, we are all impacting the people around us. Anyone who has a social media account impacts people, whether we like it or not. And when we go to the grocery store, like I love bringing it to the everyday. When we go to the grocery store, there's people that we're impacting. Just smiling at somebody can change the way their day's been going. And yeah, so it all matters. We're talking about skincare, but it's like it all matters.
It all does. It does. Yeah. And then, like, I think of even like you saying, like impacting, even if it's small, like us moms who have children around us, like, even if that's the only people we're impacting, that is so huge. That
Mhm,
is so huge,
mhm,
and how we can show up for those people that are like live within our house.
yeah,
Maybe it's not our children, maybe it's our spouse or whoever it is that we might live with, that like that, just that's big,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know?
Right. Kids copy what they see modeled. So whether we like it or not, you know,
Yeah,
making
you and that.
making time for a mask once a week. Like I know that what I observed modeled from my mom or people in my life growing up impacted me on a subconscious, unconscious level, but it impacted me. So for sure, us making time for ourselves is important because there's people watching, there are kids watching. And I would always want my kids to grow up taking good care of themselves. So I have to model it for them. And it's not a selfish act. It's a really loving act to take care of ourselves.
It
And
is. Yeah. Yeah. We just like, right, like we talked about, that self-care, loving ourselves means that we can just give so much more to others. I mean, it just feels like what we give ourselves is what we can give others. Like, say we're feeding ourselves with negativity, and of course, this isn't to do with, doesn't have to do with skincare, but like, say we're feeding ourselves with negativity or like no self-care or whatever, that's going to come out.
yeah.
And that's not good. But if we are nurturing ourselves with self-care and just a little bit of love,
Mhm,
then that's going to come out.
mhm.
And that's good. Like, that's what we want, right?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what I want
Yeah.
for my family. Like, to be able to give them like positivity and happiness and just love,
Mhm. For sure.
and not negativity, or not, because I know from my own personal experience, when I don't take care of myself, when I don't give myself that self-care, I'm not able to give that care to my family,
Mhm.
to the people I'm with every day. I'm not, because it's just it's like that energy tank.
Yeah.
Like in the book, The Five Love Languages, he talks about having an energy or a love tank. I mean,
Mhm.
and when our love tank is full, it shows and we can fill other people's love tanks. But if it's empty and we have nothing to give, what comes out is negative. And
Mhm.
then we just drain, the love tanks around us.
Right. Yeah.
And and sometimes as women, we just have to be the one that gives ourselves that nurturing and care, and especially as moms,
Mhm.
because motherhood is, it's demanding.
Yes.
Children they're demanding. They need a lot, and they should, because they're children.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I love that. They're demanding, they need a lot, and they should because they're children. And I think that is such a beautiful truth because obviously I work on the other end. I'm working with adults, but helping them nurture their inner child, right? And heal their inner
Right.
child. And I realize if a child is well loved and given the attention needed and the emotional stability, they become an adult who, of course, will have needs, but won't have the same measure of needs. And so
Yep.
you're right. Like kids need the love and every drop of it that we can give, but then we need to be pouring out from a full tank. So we have to be loving ourselves and receiving love from others and then pouring it into our children or children in general. And then, yeah, those kids can become adults who won't have the same traumatic experience as a child who was, emotionally neglected or abused or otherwise. So
Right.
thank you for saying that, because it's true. It's not a bad thing that kids need so much.
Yeah, no, and I look around and I've had that experience where I can see people around me who had an empty tank growing up. And it's like when a child's tank is never filled, it, like you said, there's like so much work that needs to be done as an adult. And some of us need that, and it's good for us to get that.
Yeah.
But if we can help the children around us to not need that, we're just raising stronger, more resilient adults
Mm-hmm.
who can then pour into all those that are around them.
Right.
And yeah, I think it's just important for us to be able to do that. Like, at least for myself, I feel like it's so important for myself to be able to just give every drop possible into my children so that they can grow up and be full and confident and just radiant people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but I think we all have traumatic experiences, and some have more than others, and some were given much less as children than others,
Right.
and we do need to work through that as we become adults and
Yeah.
you know
Right.
nurture ourselves.
Right. And there's no shame in that. But I think we're seeing, how to bypass that. And that's the best part. There's so many times where I just feel gratitude that I have a chance at doing life differently than was modeled for me. And not because I love my parents, I respect my parents, they did the best with what they knew. But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't take away from the gratitude I feel at having a chance to do life in a different way.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. And then be able to give that to your children.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so important.
Mm.
Because of, our past traumas or empty love tanks or whatever has caused us to feel like less than we should.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that, like, my products come from a place of wanting to fill that need, and so it's not only like the products I've created are so much more than just a product. It's like we talked about, I infuse it with love, but also with that desire to give women a moment of self-nurturing so they can start to fill that tank, so they can start to just care for themselves and give themselves that what they were missing, maybe in their childhood, maybe now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a little bit. Like, if I can do just a little bit with that, I've done so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, on the practical side of things, my products, I spent half a decade of research, studying what would work for skin, just because of my own problems and because I just could not find what worked. And I used over the counter and prescription and so many things.
Mm-hmm.
And just the products themselves, I just really work to create just a synergistic blend of so many ingredients, so many active ingredients, so that it really makes a big impact. I mean, there's so many products out there that just have maybe one or two active ingredients, where I've just worked to infuse mine with so many. And all of our skin, no matter our type or anything, type, color, anything, our skin is all essentially the same.
Okay.
And most problems are caused by the same underlying cause, which is inflammation. Okay. So acne and rashes and hives and premature aging are all kind of have the underlying cause of inflammation. And so the products that I've created, when used as a whole, are designed to heal and bring down that inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
And just a really quick disclaimer, I'm not a dermatologist or a doctor, and so I can't claim that these products will heal or cure any illness. But that aside, I've just done my best to really make them make an impact and really help and support any ailment that women might be having. So it may seem kind of odd that like one product could help multiple issues, but it's because of that root cause, because of that root problem. And I've had actually women with the entire range of issues, like from acne to aging, use my products and see noticeable changes and noticeable results. So one of my first customers was actually my sister-in-law, and she was one that like really encouraged me to sell my products back when I had really like was in the baby stages. She had acne, like really bad, and lots of acne scarring, and just like really troubled skin. And so she, like after 6 months of using my product and just specifically the serum moisturizer, after 6 months of that, somebody had asked her if she was wearing makeup, and she's like, no, like, not wearing makeup. Like her skin had healed so significantly, even the scarring, that they thought she had like cover up or like, or however that question was phrased or whatever, you know. But anyway, the point being is that it, like her completely natural skin looked like she had cover up on.
That is amazing and beautiful. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have all the feels. Like that is, wow.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share before we wrap up? And I want to make sure that you can tell the listeners where they can find you.
Yeah, on my products, so they're not available at all times. And the reason for that is because they're completely natural. There's no synthetic preservatives in them. So they only last for 6 months, up to a year if stored like properly. So I only make them in small batches, and I only have them available for a week at a time when I make them. And in that way, like anyone purchasing knows that they are getting like the freshest products. They have not been sitting there for any length of time. They're completely fresh. And that's when they're the most powerful and effective products, when they're just made. And also for my own lifestyle, that's just how I can keep it going, since I'm just like, I am a mom and these are handcrafted products and I want to keep them that way. I intend to keep them that way. And I am expanding, but we're keeping everything handcrafted and just so they stay as effective as they are now, like no changes.
Yeah, awesome.
So they're only available for a week at a time. And the best way to know and to be on to know about availability is to get on my email list.
Okay.
And you can find that at my website, which is vibrantwithin.com. And you can also, or when you sign up, you also get a free ebook on the facial care routine and how to put together an effective facial care routine.
Okay.
So yeah, the email list is the best way to hear about availability. And then also follow me on Instagram, and that's at Vibrant Within. That's where I'm working at being there every day with tips and tricks and lifestyle hacks that support skin and things like that. So
super. And I'll put those details in the show notes too, so that everyone can make sure they have the right spelling and all that good stuff.
Perfect.
All right. Well, this has been great. And I really appreciate you being here and all the good work you're doing. And I hope that each one of the listeners will go and follow you and get on your email list so they know when your products are available, because I think they should get them.
Thank you, Corrine. This was so fun.
Here we are, we've made it to the end. What'd you think about what you heard today? Is there something you heard that you know you need to take action on? I'm one of those people who loves to not just sit and hear something, but to sit and hear and then go ahead and start implementing, taking action on what I hear, what was stirred up in me. And I encourage you to do the same. If you enjoyed today's episode, or perhaps you heard an episode in the past that really stuck with you, would you go ahead and share that with some of your friends and your family? It would mean so much to me. And also, if you want to connect with me, remember, you can always find me throughout the week on Instagram. I'm Corrine_Change Radically. Or you can email me anytime, Corrine@changeradically.com. I'd love to be in touch. And if there's any way that I can help you, please seek me out. Until we speak again next week, I hope that you will remember, in the moments that are loud and busy, and in the moments that are quiet and still, that who you are is super important. You are valuable, and I am so glad that you're alive.